So this animation is for the Anim Challenge, which I just discovered on Facebook. I have a few things that I want to accomplish with this animation. The first thing is that I want to use it for my portfolio. Second thing, I want the drawings to be strong, as in strong key poses and well drawn. Third thing, I want to use the Japanese pipeline, at least a little bit. Let's begin! Ikuzo! Alright, so I finished the key poses and I've timed out the animation and added all the rough in-between indications by following all of the little time charts that I drew on every frame. It's a bit hard with these time charts because normally with traditional animation, you kind of have to make a guess based on your own knowledge and experience of timing in animation. I also really like how the subtle things turned out, like her shoulders moving up and down or scrunching in and stretching out depending on which way she's moving. Also, when she stretches out her arm, there are some folds of clothing that appear underneath her armpits that disappear as well. And I think the small details like that really make a difference. The brush I'm going to go with for the final line art is this one. I like how you can see the texture very clearly, but it's not too obnoxious. And it has like an Asian look to it. I also want to try and paint the background in Clip Studio Paint. Let's begin on that. Ikuzo! Alright, this is what I ended up with for the final version that I sent to the Anim Challenge Facebook page last night at 2 in the morning. Pretty happy with how this turned out. I think it looks really nice. And this is what I was planning to do anyways. Just do as much of the line animation as I possibly could before the deadline and summon what I had. I think there are two things that bother me right now though that I've finally noticed, and that's the fact that the ending pose that she's in is almost exactly the same as the beginning pose, which just looks a little weird to me. Also, I think the facial features on Waawaate's face, they seem a little bit spaced out at the beginning, and then in the middle of the animation, they get more precise and inside of her face, but then they go back out again at the end. So, a little bit of a resizing issue, but that's fine. That's just my inability to draw like a professional animator. It's fine, okay? Whatever, I'm not sad. Next, all I have to do is finish the animation, add all the missing in-betweens, add all the effects, add all the nice music, and finish the animation. So yeah, let's do it. Boom! There we go. All the colors are done for Waawaate and Ayasha. Finally. So my process for the coloring was basically, my plan was to do soft gradient to color her body, and then I would have the color go towards the local colors. So by local colors, I mean the natural color of, for example, her shirt is red, this red right here, and everything else is super muted because she's inside of this dark, gloomy tint. So I decided to make a soft transition between the colors, because I know that when I add the blue highlights from the magic from her hand, it's going to be very sharp, because I want that to be the focus of the light. So I chose to do a mix of soft and sharp, but you could also do soft and soft, or sharp and sharp, just depending on your own preferences. And there we go, everything's done, woohoo! I did the magical effects in her hands, and I used this marker brush that I found that I quite liked the look of it. It has a nice texture and looks pretty unique, and it has this glowing line around the whole thing. I also added the sharp highlight from the magic on her face and also on Ayasha's body. And I almost forgot, but at the very end I added the blood on her arm because she's being healed by Waawaate, so she's got to be injured. So now all that's left is to export every layer separately as a PNG sequence so that it will have the transparency, and put them all into After Effects to start compositing everything together. Whoa, After Effects, amazing. The important thing that I do with pretty much all my animations in After Effects is I make lighting glow and make it more extreme, and for that I usually use the add effect. Sometimes I use overlay, sometimes color dodge, but mostly for all the glows that I do in most of my animations, I always use add. So I also like to do this thing where I'll create a solid and I'll make it very blurry, and then I'll just have it track her hand around the screen so that it adds to the lighting effect when she's waving her hands around. And I also have it duplicated so that it's also passing over Ayasha's body as well, so that you really get that sense of realism that there's actually light passing over her body wherever she's moving her hands around. And I also made sure to mask it so that it's not affecting the background. It's only on Waawaate and Ayasha's body that you see this blurry light passing over. And we are finished. That is the end of this animation. Only took 4 weeks for this 8 seconds. So in conclusion, answering those goals that I set at the beginning of this thing, I think I succeeded in most of them. So other than those goals, things I did well, I think the sound design I'm really proud of. I think I made some really beautiful sound and music for this short animation. Almost better than the animation itself. The flowing arcs, I think I did well with the movement of her hands, and the colors and the lighting, even though I just copied it from my old drawing. Things I could do better next time. The model sheets could be better. I think I resized her face a little bit with the beginning and the end pose. The effects could definitely be better, but I don't like doing effects, so don't care that much, but it's something that I could definitely improve. And don't start in such a weird aspect ratio. And that's it. Animation complete. Now what? Now I'll make another one and see you in 5 months. Let's go.